Today we will discuss about central nervous system, few selected topics. The first topic is hydrocephalus. What is hydrocephalus? Hydrocephalus is increase in the size of the brain ventricles. We know there are first, second, third, two lateral ventricles and two midline, third and fourth ventricles are present. And inside these ventricles there will be CSF. These ventricles are directly connected with the subarachnoid space. Now, hydrocephalus can occur as a result of obstruction to the outflow of the CSF, and which if occurs very early in the childhood, in those cases there can be increase in the size of the brain, as there is the suture lines are still open. But in older age group there will be no increase in the brain, there is no increase in the size of the brain or head, but there will be gradual diminution of the brain parenchyma with increase in the ventricular system. And again, this hydrocephalus can be communicating or can be non-communicating. A communicating hydrocephalus means it directly communicates with the subarachnoid space, whereas a non-communicating hydrocephalus means it is not connected with the subarachnoid space. Next are the infections and inflammations. The infection or the inflammation of the brain covering is known as meningitis. This meningitis, there are three layers: dura, pia and arachnoid, of which meningitis usually involves the pia and arachnoid. It can be a bacterial meningitis where it is usually an acute course, a viral meningitis where it will be an acute course, or it can be a fungal meningitis where it will be as acute or subacute course, or a tubercular meningitis when it usually carries a chronic course. These meningitis infections can be differentiated by study of the CSF, as we have already described, and clinically all these patients will present with headache, vomiting, features of increased intracranial tension, irritation, seizure or even coma. High temperature is often present, and neck rigidity is very important sign of meningitis. When the brain parenchyma is inflamed, then it is known as encephalitis. Encephalitis may occur only or as a combination with meningitis, that is known as meningoencephalitis. Meningoencephalitis can occur with bacterial infections or other fungal infections, but pure encephalitis usually occurs with viral infection. The clinical features are almost similar to meningitis, but there will be the temperature will be very high, and there can be also specific neurological abnormality which may not be present in meningitis. Then the vascular events in a brain that will occur are known as cerebrovascular accidents. They occur as a result of ischemia, or they occur as a result of cerebral hemorrhage. In ischemia, usually the thromboembolism is the commonest cause. So there will be thromboembolism obstructing a major artery, and that will give rise to ischemia to a distinct part of the brain, and the brain parenchymal cells can withstand ischemia for a very brief period, 2 to 3 minutes. So within that there will be necrosis and destruction of the brain parenchyma, and that will be reflected as some specific functional defect. In case of hemorrhagic, cerebrovascular accident, there will be rupture of the aneurysm, now commonly Berry aneurysm, or there can be bleeding as a result of hypertensive injury to the blood vessels. So this will give rise to extravasation of blood and there will be pressure over the surrounding brain parenchyma, and that will give rise to brain damage. And the last item of brain is the tumor. The brain tumor, you just know few names. The tumors of the outer covering of brain, that is meninges, is known as meningioma. The tumors of the brain are meningioma. They are usually benign in nature, and they are usually present over the frontal convexities. And the tumors of the brain proper can be astrocytoma, can be glioma, can be oligodendroglioma, or can be also medulloblastoma, etc. So in all these tumors, you must just know the name. In all these tumors, the features are there will be headache, there will be slowly developing neck rigidity, and there will be also specific neurological symptoms where the part of the brain is getting damaged as a result of pressure effect from the tumor problem. So in brain, you just know few names, but in brain, the CSF study you must know by your heart. Thank you very much.